talked about
cool.
comparing, like saying that your off the field life was just as important to you as on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Was that, how long did that carry into your NFL career?
I would say just a couple years. I mean, I started realizing that football, you know, is definitely number one in my life, and that football, you know, needs to be number one. Like, I can't be putting football aside. I can't be putting the training aside just because I want to go out, hang out with the friends, be bussing with the boys at, you know, at whatever college I'm visiting my buddies at, because I left college early. So after my rookie year, all my friends were still in college, you know. So I'm visiting Miami, Ohio, which, oh my gosh, going out there. Great
I heard that
time.
place is crazy.
Oh, rocking, bro. I got my jersey up at Brick Street still. I mean, I'm a legend there. Yeah. I'm visiting pool parties. Look at those pictures. So I'm going ham. At least I'm going so ham, I was getting exercise while I was going ham. I was staying in shape. I was burning at least 1,000 to 2,000 calories.
Just dancing.
The 3-4 hour period of going out. But I realized that football has to be number one, though. I mean, and football is going to sustain that, you know, the extra activities as well. And so if I keep the football, you know, activities and football, you know, skills at the highest level, everything else is always going to be there. I learned that about 2-3 years into the league.
What made you come to this realization? Was it a conversation with a teammate?
Just
family member?
Through experience of showing up to football and being deteriorated and sucking. Yeah. And being out of shape and wanting to puke and feeling like every single one of your muscles are going to spasm out there on the field or pull. And like, yeah, it's like miserable. And you're like, yeah, I shouldn't be out here right now. And you got to work your way through it because you got to show that, you know, you're doing the proper things, you know?
Yeah.
But when you hit, you know, real life, when you hit that realization on the field of it's not going well, you know, that's when you know you got to tune things up and you got to change whatever you're doing. I mean, I'm sure you experienced that before, at least once or twice.
The realization that football has to be the main thing?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone has.
Pretty young for me because you know, the hearing about the stories that you have, I think in my head, like, I don't know how I would function as an athlete in college if I, like, my nightlife was just right there. I put as much into my nightlife as I did football. So I feel like it just wouldn't, I don't know. I feel like genetically it wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah. But like hearing the way you talk about it sounds like you were like practicing, and then after practice, you're like, okay, what are we going to do tonight? Yeah. And for me, like, I partied a lot in college in my first couple of years in the NFL, but it was always, to me, like, I'd act like in my brain, I'd be like, I'm not going to go out this weekend. Then accidentally, all of a sudden it'd be 2 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'd be up at Losers or Rick's American Cafe in Ann Arbor. It seemed like you were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work really hard at football so I can go party and get the most out of that.
There we go. That's exactly how it went. No doubt about it. And also going out and the partying, it wasn't, you know, throughout the week. It was only one night a week, or maybe possibly 2 nights a week during the off season. It wasn't an everyday thing. If it was an every night thing, then I would definitely never be where I am right now. So I always put that work in too. And then sometimes we're in the weight room and we would work harder. We would be pushing each other harder because we'd be like, hey, you got to look jacked tonight. You know, you got to look good. You got to get that six-pack, extra, you know, 20 crunches, extra minute on the plank, you know, extra set of the bench press. So that motivated you. That got you to where you needed to get to, because then you felt like you deserved to go out that night too. So, you know, it was always in back of the mind, but it wasn't like, you know, a daily thing. If it was a daily thing, I've seen players go through the daily thing where they're going out, you know, throughout the week too. And I always knew too, as a kid, even in college, I'm like, no, I ain't touching that during the week. I ain't going out during the week. I need my sleep. You know, I need to go to classes. Obviously, I need to be ready for practice. And then I always actually did it when I always knew I had basically had off the next day as well. Yeah. Sometimes in the younger generation era, you know, you would do it with practice till the next day at like 10 a.m. or 11, and you would just fight your life through it. But majority of the time I would know I would have off the next day as well to recover, rehydrate, and all the good stuff. So I did all the stupid shit the smartest way possible.
I feel that.
Yeah.
You grinded through
Yes.
it even in workouts. It's like if I would be hungover, like I remember a couple times where I'd be hungover, or you try to have a late night and you work out the next day. And when I felt like I was on the verge of throwing up or my body feeling the way it did, it'd be like when you're on a knee listening to your coach talk and I'm just thinking in my head, I got it. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't like continue. I can't.
That's always the second guess, because when you go out, you're like, this is gonna be awesome. And then when you're peak drunk, you're like, I'm gonna power through tomorrow. I'm gonna absolutely crush it.
Yeah.
And the minute you wake up the next day, you're like, I can never do that again.
Yeah.
But then it goes like, it's Monday. You're like, I'm not drinking. I'm living my life like a saint now. Tuesday comes by. You're like, just a good old boy. Wednesday, it's like, Friday is right around the corner and it is a lot of fun. Thursday's like, all right, one more weekend and then we're solid. And then all of a sudden it's Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. You're like, all right, we did it.
You just hit that timeline perfectly.
Dude, because that's what it is. You
really
always have
did.
like the Sunday scares. You're like, you've rethought your entire life and you're like, this is it. This is the day I change who I really am. And then by Friday, you're back to being the same fucking person over and over again. I can't imagine that first off season you had after your first year in the NFL. Because in college, it's like, back when you played, you have like a week off at most, right? 2 weeks if you don't make a bowl game.
Well, the best thing about it too was it was the lockout, so we weren't even allowed to have an off season that year. So I had a true 6 months of just doing whatever I wanted to do. So I was going.
I bet Bill Belichick was shitting his pants.
He really was, and that's when kind of videos were starting to surface on the internet of me. I was back at the University of Arizona with the basketball players at a pool party, just going ape shit. I was visiting my friends, like you said, in college, Miami, Ohio. I got to bring that place up again. I'm telling you, spectacular place if you're a young buck. Just the atmosphere that's presented there is just phenomenal, and just everything else. I learned what Vegas was that year as well. After my rookie year, but this is like I never had
Vegas was.
I never had the responsibility of going back and training, up in New England because we were locked out. We weren't allowed back there for the whole 6 months, and then I ended up showing up and absolutely balling in training camp and having my breakout season where I scored like 21 touchdowns, including the playoffs, and broke every record as a tight end. So I guess I can contribute it to all my dancing and all my partying because I was moving. I'm talking, my stamina was up there. I was staying loose, just jiggling everything on my body, just every type of motion you could possibly think of, twerking to the extreme powers. I swear that's what got me through, was just nonstop movement. You do the lifting, they say you got to have that base, the
foundation,
the foundation of your core of being loose, flexibility and stamina of the little muscles firing. And that's what got me keep everything firing at a proper rate, was all the dancing and all the movements, throwing your friends up in the air on top of lifting as well.
Dude,
yeah, pretty nuts, right? I swear though, I swear. I mean, I don't really do that really. I try to go out and I dance for 5 minutes and I'm like, how the fuck was I dancing for 3 hours straight? I can dance for 5 minutes now. I'm like, all right, I can't dance any longer anymore.
When did you realize that your partying and your antics could become a massive brand? Because now you have Gronk Beach, you and your brothers, you did the cruise. So you have so many things that are revolved around a lot of things that used to get you in trouble.
Yes.
When did that transition happen where you're like, oh, I can actually make money doing this?
It kind of just happened naturally as well. It wasn't like I was doing it as a scheme or a play or, to get
notoriety.
Notoriety from it. Not at all, man. I was just being myself, what I've been doing since, my college days and going into the NFL. It wasn't anything was planned ever. I was just doing me, and then it just kept blowing up sometimes, and that's why I just kept doing me, because I'm just doing me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just having fun, And then I really noticed a couple years into it, all right, this is starting to become something, because wherever I went, people expected it. And it was cool. It was cool as shit. It was all right, I'm going out. It's going to be so turned up. But you have the energy when you're in the 20s as well to turn up the whole entire place, get on the bar, give everyone shots, all that good stuff. And I noticed that, it could possibly be a brand. It's working, even though I'm just being myself. It's working. It's blowing up, At the same time, though, I always knew that balling on the field was what the real accelerator was what the engine was balling on the field, because this guy's absolutely fucking balling on the field, but he's going out with all the fans as well and just having a good time and going ham. And then, eventually, though, I kind of got over that kind of stigma, because it was hard, in your mid-20s, easily with the energy to keep up with it. But when I was starting to fade on the football field, that was becoming hard off the field too, because I was starting to back away from it big time, because football was, starting to get away from me, and I didn't want football to get away from me. So I knew I had to start changing my lifestyle big time. So I would start picking and choosing when I'm going out, how much I'm going out then, and all that good stuff, because I wanted, to be on top of my game for football. And now to this day, it is a brand, like a party brand. It really is. But I'm not even close to partying how I was partying back in the day. That 20-year-old me, got that brand to sustain all the way to this day. That's how ham I was going, though, back then. Yeah, and that's how much I was balling on the field. So, it's cool, like throwing Gronk Beach. I just pick and choose now. Like Gronk Beach, I'll go ham, but not like how I used to, I don't want to drink as much as I used to either. It's not good for you. It is poison, I can't work out the next day. It takes 3 days to recover. I'm really into health, now, and fitness. Obviously, I've been my whole life, but I'm always in for a good time. But I'm more of the guy now, that likes to lay back and watch what's going on and join a little bit of the action, but not go too crazy.
Not like your young self.
Yeah. Exactly.
What were like the coaching moments like with somebody like Bill Belichick? You talk about how like the Patriot way, how strict he was, how meetings could run. Like in the early days before it becomes a brand, are there any moments you're having in the facility with Coach Belichick before it like becomes a distraction or, hey, your brand or being more than the team? Was there like a transition there? Because obviously when you become Gronk and you're the man, you guys are winning Super Bowls, it's a lot more accepted because, you're the man. The Patriots are, you guys are winning football games. But in the early years when you're coming back and these videos are surfacing, is there anything happening in team meetings with Coach Bill?
Here's the thing. I always knew if I showed up and balled, I would be in good hands still. I'd be in good faith with the coaching staff. And Coach Belichick let a lot of things go if you were balling on the field. He didn't care if you were out all night and showing up. As long as you produce on that football field, he let everything go. It was fine. But the second you started dropping off, oh shit, you didn't want to be there. You didn't want to be in that meeting. You're getting called out. You're going to have a one-on-one meeting like, hey, mother, like, what the fuck are you doing? I see you out. Like, you can't even, come out to practice and get open versus our undrafted free agent. Like, so he would let you know, and he would eventually let you know in front of the team too. He would call you out. So that's why, like, you always had to be on point when you enter that facility. And that's why I believe that going to that destination, kept me on the grind too. Like, yeah, the nightlife and all, whatever you were doing outside of football. But the second you stepped in that building, like you had that motivation and that grind, like, oh, fuck, like I got to absolutely dominate because I was out. Everyone saw it. And if I don't produce on this field, oh, fuck, it's going to be a bad day for me. So that kind of got you to that level mindset, like, that you got a ball.
Did you ever have a moment with Bill where he had to check you in a one-on-one or a team meeting?
Not really. So Julian and I, we went out Memorial Day weekend to Narragansett. No, not Narragansett. Nantucket. Narragansett's in Rhode Island. We went out to Nantucket for Fogawi weekend. We got absolutely, hammered. We were on a golf cart. We were in the back. Julian and I doing our thing, and the golf cart lifted up in the air, the front tires, and we landed on the ground. And it was a video that surfaced the internet, and it was classic. And I remember the next day, or 3 days later, we go to OTAs, running routes, and Bill came up to us. And we were sweating all over the place. Get all that fucking shit out of your system. I saw you two idiots this weekend. You guys are fucking fools. Keep running. Get it all out of you. So we were balling, though. We were out there. But Coach always got you to that mindset. Hungover, not feeling so good. When you hit that field, that just the aura in New England, that got you to that mindset of whatever fuck is in your system, however you feel. You better not feel that way. It's gonna get you over it. Yeah. When you hit that field.
You talk about the aura of
right there. Is that it? Is that the golf cart? Yeah, right there. There we are. Oh, the back of the golf cart broke. That's not good. This is like 2 months before the season.
Is it really?
Yeah, but Justin Timberlake loved it because that was the same night that we were. Right there. We were dancing to a song. This is the same night we were dancing to his song. Gotta Feel It. What is it?
Got a Feeling?
Yeah, Got a Feeling.
That's that.
And we were rocking out, and then he tweeted that the same night.
That is funny.
Ladies, the Gronk in it, Playboy. So shout out to Justin Timberlake. That's when I knew, all right, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
I got to keep going. Well, you see those dance moves. Now you see why I was getting over.
Staying loose out there.
Yeah, you're staying loose. Look at shimmying all over the place.
Look at that. What is it? The shuffle? You got something going there for sure.
Shimming. The Gronk shimmy.